Hey guys, I'm Luke, a former investment banker and CFA charter holder, having passed all three of my CFA exams at the first attempt. The CFA Level I exam is really tough, and I think we all know that by now. The pass rate hovers around the 40% mark, and pretty much every exam sitting, more candidates fail the Level I exam than pass it. But a lot of candidates don't necessarily fail the Level I exam because the content and material within Level I is technically challenging. They often fail because of more avoidable mistakes, and that's what we're going to discuss in this video. I'm going to break down the three most common and avoidable pitfalls that candidates often run into when they're studying towards Level I and how you can avoid them. So yeah, let's get started. The first mistake that candidates make when they're studying towards Level I is focusing primarily on memorization and not fundamental understanding of the Level I material. CFA questions across all three levels, not just Level I, want to test your application of the material, not just your ability to memorize it. You need to be able to apply the knowledge that you're accumulating from the Level I syllabus. Candidates that try and just memorize formulas and memorize end of chapter questions and sample exam questions, hoping that similar questions come up in the real exam, run into a bit of trouble when the actual Level I paper is testing things in different ways and in different contexts. So you need to be prepared to face different questions than what you've seen in the curriculum so far. The exam is going to test you in different ways and in different contexts. You need to have a real deep understanding of the content within Level I, not just a surface level understanding, and not just memorize everything that you come across. You need to develop deeper layers and be prepared for whatever the exam is going to throw at you. The second mistake that candidates often make when they fail the Level I exam is leaving ethics far too late in their study schedule. Ethics carries the largest weighting in the Level I exam. It's worth around 15 to 20% of the marks, and it often acts as a tiebreaker. If you're a borderline candidate, there's something called the ethics adjustment, which could recategorize you as a pass or a fail depending on how you perform on ethics. So ethics is a critical area of the curriculum and an area that you need to perform well in to stand a really decent chance of passing the Level I exam. Many candidates leave ethics right until the end, like days before their exam sitting, or they just skip it entirely. And this is a kamikaze approach towards studying towards Level I, because, like I said, ethics could be the difference between you passing or you failing. Ethics is difficult. It's arguably the most difficult topic within the Level I syllabus. It's got a lot of grey areas and very nuanced scenarios that you'll come across when it comes to questions. But it is an area that you need to carve out a lot of time to study towards, particularly nearer the exam, because 15 to 20% of the marks can't be foregone. You need to do well in that section to stand a good chance of progressing onto Level II. My advice is to leave ethics towards the end of your initial study schedule, so do all of the other topics first, then study ethics, and then move on to your revision phase. Then that's where you do all your question practice and your mock exam practice. But once you've been through ethics for the first time, you need to keep on refreshing that knowledge, do questions regularly, and review it as many times as you can before exam day, because look, 15 to 20%, it's going to come up a lot. Every 1 in 5 questions is probably going to be an ethics question, so you need to be prepared for it. The third mistake that candidates often make, which leads to them underperforming in the Level I exam, is to skip the CFA Institute's official curriculum questions. Now, the CFA Institute has tons of questions on its website. It has a portal where you can address loads of practice problems online, and then it also has its end of chapter questions, which are anywhere between sort of 10 to 30 questions depending on the topic at the end of each section of the curriculum. Now, what a lot of candidates do, if they're using a third-party prep provider like Kaplan or Mark Meldrum, they'll exclusively use their material, their questions, and that's great. It's good to get a broad range of question practice, but you should absolutely be doing the CFA Institute's own questions as well, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are going to be writing the exam. So it's important to do all of their questions, or at least as many of their questions as possible, before exam day. The Institute's end of chapter questions and topic tests are often closest to what the real exam is going to look like in terms of difficulty and question structure. So it's important to get exposure to the Institute's style of questions before you walk into your Level 1 sitting. So my advice is to do all of the CFA Institute's questions. Don't leave any on the table. Make sure you've done all of the end of chapter questions, all of the portal questions, and any sample exams that you can get your hands on. Cool, so that's 3 mistakes that candidates often make, which leads them to failing the Level 1 exam. CFA Level 1 isn't just about knowledge, intelligence, it's about application of what you're learning. And it's also about discipline and strategy and consistency. If you're able to put in place a solid structure when it comes to your studying and your revision, and you're doing it daily, and you're able to, even if you're able to study 2-3 hours a day every day, you're going to be really well positioned to pass this exam, because it's little and often that's what's going to get you across the line in this exam. So yeah, hopefully this video was helpful. If you've got any questions regarding the CFA Level 1 exam, please fire them off in the comments. I'd be more than happy to address them. And if you want to learn more about the CFA, please consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm making tons of videos about the curriculum and about each of the 3 levels. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.